Probably every little girl at one point or another dreams of being a ballerina, and I was no different. Though I never had the opportunity to study classical ballet in my town, I threw myself into whatever I could. Probably the thing that keeps me going on this mission is to provide for kids what I did not have when I was younger. I remember sitting in a local school auditorium thinking, this isn't what dance is supposed to be. So we started to have this crazy idea. What if we could develop a place to nurture young people in the arts with excellence and none of the stuff that probably a lot of the parents don't want their kids doing anyway? Right around this time, one of our elders came up to me at church and passed me a videotape and said, I think you might want to check out this school in Rochester. It was inspiring to watch the video. A few months later, we were able to contact Sandy Arena, the director of that organization, Dance for Joy, and attend one of their shows. I'll never forget going backstage and meeting her after the show. She put her arm around me, looked at me, and said, and you'll have your school in 2 years. I had no idea that was going to happen, and exactly what she said would come true. We knew in order to pull this off, we'd have to partner with somebody who had a similar heart and technical training to offer. So we found that person in Melinda Adams, and she was willing to drive from her home near Rochester, New York, and start this school with us. So we began in 2008. What we thought would be maybe 6 or 8 kids turned out to be 16 on the very first night. People we'd never met before that had no association with our church wanted to come. They wanted something wholesome. They felt a kinship with our idea. It took us a little while to find our way. What were we going to be like if we're not just like another recital school with a Christian label on it? What we wanted to offer was a totally new take on the arts. Our culture screams at us what we need to be, what we need to look like, what we need to chase after. And at Grace, we've gone back to old-fashioned values. We're putting in kids things like humility and serving, things that maybe aren't being taught a lot of places. Modesty, how to carry yourself with dignity and prefer others before yourself. It's been not the development of an organization, but the development of a culture. This is probably one of my favorite pictures that we've ever taken. When I see this, it reminds me of what happens that it's hard to even put into words. When you teach young people how to express their hearts, how to treat each other well, and use their gifts in a positive way, they realize their value. They realize they're beautiful. We've seen kids become friends and influence each other's lives for the better. We've seen kids break down in tears saying they didn't feel comfortable anywhere else. They've found a home at Grace. From the beginning, we never wanted finances to get in the way if someone was really serious about training with us. So we, right from the get-go, established a scholarship where families, based on their level of income and their willingness to commit to our organization, are able to have their tuition completely waived or reduced to whatever price that they can currently afford. Over the years, that program has grown, and currently we offer between $300 and $500 of free tuition a month. After our first 3 years, a super difficult time happened in that our 2 more trained technical teachers were stepping down. We truly did not think we would make it to year 4. I spent the summer praying and making phone calls and trying desperately to find a teacher who would have the level of technical training we were trying to offer, but the super willing, humble, loving heart that we needed to have to love on these beautiful families and kids that had been entrusted to us. And it got to be a couple weeks before we were to begin, and we still had no one. But in that time, we got connected to some great people, some fantastic dancers with fantastic training, and they became such a source of encouragement to me. Sarah Badger stepped forward with her world-class experience as a professional and offered to train me and help train us if she could fit it in her schedule in any way. We partnered right then with Sarah and with Carolyn Fisher, and they knew right away they wanted to give us their best, even though they were so busy with the school that they were running on their own. It was truly phenomenal. Other people came alongside and encouraged me, me with very little dance experience, that I could get trained and I could keep this thing going until we found somebody else. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The amazing thing is, God has always provided teachers from all different places and all different backgrounds and all different age groups to be a part of the Grace story. He's made us a family. Truly, this eclectic group of people has become an integral part of our DNA. What we've seen is different people with different experiences and different training backgrounds coming together actually provides the most top-notch education that you could give to young people. We make each other better. We have a well-rounded experience. There's a ton of volunteer work that goes on behind the scenes. Most of the direction of our school is truly volunteer. We do this because we want to keep it affordable. We never want our programs to be about the bottom line or somebody making a profit. So by doing this, we're able to pour back any income we make right back into the community. It became apparent around 2012, 2013 that we would need to become our own entity in order to properly employ our teachers and to continue developing our program the way it ought to be. By 2015, we were able to officially become Grace Worship Arts Incorporated, a 501c3 charitable organization in the state of New York. So no one needs to be freaked out about the name Grace Worship Arts Inc. There's a lot of words you can't use when you're establishing a nonprofit. And we couldn't use the word school because then you have to be affiliated with the Board of Education, and that's really not what we were doing. So we couldn't be Grace School of Dance, which we hoped to develop into Grace School of the Arts. But as Christians, as a faith-based organization, we believe that our talents and gifts have come to us from the Creator. And what we do is a gift back to Him, to be used for good service, to help other people, to bring people up. That's an act of worship. While it took a few years to develop, our vision all along has been to collaborate and create a story shown in movement and shown in theatrics on stage. A couple years ago, we began to develop the Grace Company. And this is where the upper half of our school is making a transition from being a dance student to being a teacher, a choreographer, and a collaborator. The students rise up and we work together to develop a theme and a story that would appeal to a wide audience. People from all different backgrounds and beliefs can receive hope from the story that we present on stage. We are so honored to have been birthed out of Pioneer Christian Fellowship. They saw the need for what we were trying to begin and gave us a home. We've used their facilities. We've been blessed to share some of their resources. And though they've never charged us, we've been able to give back to them in some ways as well. It's been an awesome relationship. But still, we knew that in order to keep growing, we were going to have a home of our own. We outgrew our space and our schedule allowance here at Pioneer. About the same time, we became a nonprofit corporation. We needed to grow, we needed a place, but of course, it's a huge step and undertaking to do that. This year, we're so thrilled. An opportunity came up that is still a pretty big leap for us. But with help and the support that we're getting from the community and the people that are volunteering to make it happen, we know we're able to pull this off. We entered into contract in February and are currently in the renovation phases of taking this beautiful old building that used to be a hardware store in our town and converting it into a beautiful space for the arts. We will have 2 classrooms, which is important to be able to have a breakout group or 2 different age groups learning at one time. And we're also able to have our dancewear store available to offer great quality merchandise at a good price right here. In the front corner of our space, we're making a tea and coffee house. It's going to be called A Cup of Grace, and it will exist to refresh the community, to connect them with the arts and the local artists that are living here and practicing here in our community. If you get excited about this mission, we hope that you'll step forward and be one of the sponsors that will cover these kids' tuition and help us move into our new space. It's been an awesome 10 years. We can't wait to see what will happen in the next 10.